Hey, my name is James, and you're listening to the TCR, you bitch.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of The Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, episode 195, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date, December 1st, 2019. The time, 9:15 p.m. Central Time. This will be the best episode ever. We are back from our Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone who celebrated had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know we did. Tell you all about it. But we also got Yikes of the Weeks, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, so you know we got juicy Yikes of the Weeks. This might be the biggest yikes that we've ever had. Dare I say, the biggest yikes we've ever had. And we also
Thanksgiving was in a giving mood with this yikes.
Oh boy, was it. And then of course we had ECS Season 8 for Counter-Strike wrap up. We were out there in Arlington, so we'll talk about that a little bit. A little bit about the event being there, a little bit about the matches, everything you need to know. And of course we'll wrap the show up with e-news. But before we do that, be sure and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. Give us not a like, on iTunes. That's the thing I'm thinking of. Give us a review, give us the 5 stars, do the whole bit to support the show, making sure it survives into perpetuity. Go subscribe on YouTube. Anything else I can sell out, you know what to do. You just go to tcr.gg and hit up all the socials. We appreciate it. Hello, my name is Tim. I am your captain for this journey into esports. And alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my brown friend, my well-lighted room friend, Tanuj. What's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Long time no see, man. I feel like it's been like an hour since I've seen you last.
I feel well rested. I'm ready to go. I am ready to go.
I don't think you were the only one who fell asleep at ECS, so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We'll get into it, though. We'll get into it. How was your Thanksgiving?
Man, it was amazing. It really was. It was a good time. We had a lot of cousins in town. Big sleepover at our place, and sat there and played Nintendo.
You're Indian, so what is a lot of cousins? Like, a lot of cousins to me are like 3. Yours is like,
yeah, I say
what,
we had three cousins, and my sister and her fiance were all here. So
okay.
It was a good time. Aunts and uncles were here, but they didn't stay at our place. But yeah, we just went to a family gathering, ate a bunch of food, all the normal white stuff, I guess you could say. Yeah, came home, played some Switch with them. We got into like some Mario Tennis, some Mario Kart.
E-sport.
It was a good time. We had a lot of fun.
Mine wasn't too bad. Mine was kind of thrown off because obviously with ECS, which for whatever reason, every time they host it here in Arlington or in the States, it's always Thanksgiving weekend, which is just horrendous for us who have to celebrate. It's hard to convince the family on that one. Like, hey, sorry, I gotta go. So we have to unfortunately miss quite a bit of that event, like just like the media day and stuff, just for family reasons, right? It's a Thanksgiving holiday. But on my in-laws who are living near us, none of my direct family lives over here. All of them were sick, so it was like the morning of, we were like, my wife was like, we're just going to move Thanksgiving to Saturday. And I swear to God, I almost divorced her right there.
That's it. It's
right? I mean, I almost got the paperwork.
You can't not do Thanksgiving. It's like too much fun. It's
too
everything
much.
you need.
I mean, like I told her, I was like, babe, you've just now turned this into normal Thursday football. Like, turn off the parade. I don't care that Santa Claus is in town anymore because this day is ruined.
Did y'all like order in, or what did you end up doing?
Oh, so my sister was in town the day before. And she made some shepherd's pie. Get it? Because my son's name is Shepherd. So we had some leftovers there. Thankfully, my brother was in town, and he was at his in-laws, and they brought over a bunch of actual Thanksgiving leftovers.
Oh, nice.
So we
you
did
got two
get
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
You got like a double
food.
thing. You double dip.
Yeah, watched some ECS. You know, it was a good Thanksgiving. Watched a lot of football. Watched the Lions lose. Thankfully, we are now in throw mode. Need that draft pick.
Cowboys find a way to keep burying themselves. I
Yet
don't even know
again, a TCR where both of our teams lost.
It's every week. It's like it feels like it's too often. Unfortunately, I expect that from your team though.
A Thanksgiving tradition unlike any other.
Your team has like felt defeat a lot. We just suck when it comes to big games.
I have quite the knack of picking bad teams, really. Cloud9 gave me the major, but after that,
that's more important than the Super Bowl, if you ask me.
Very little. It's more important than the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, Cloud9 major?
For right now, for me, I will say yes, because I at least got to live through that. Ask me when the Lions win the Super Bowl, and I might change my mind. But I'll tell you who didn't have a good Thanksgiving, Anuj. And it's going to lead right into our yikes of the week. This is such a big yikes that normally me and Anuj, we try not to tell each other the yike, like because we each bring a yikes to the table, right? And we try not to say what it is to each other because we kind of like the surprise, right? And we want to explain it and everything there. But we do have to at least give a hint or say, hey, it's about this topic. So that way we both don't double dip. Well, this week we both said MuTeX. It's got to be MuTeX. And we're like, all right, fine. We'll do that. Like, Anuj, you can do that, and I'll think of another one. And, man, when I got to reading more and more and listening and pulling all the audio, because we got a lot of audio we want to get through on that, I pulled an executive decision and just said, we got to run with it. This is going to be both our yikes of the week. For the first time in TCR history, we are combining our yikes of the week because it is such a massive yikes, such a massive screw up by one individual. It just deserves all the time that we have for yikes of the week.
This is also a really good like what not to do situation in
yes,
life.
Kids out there, this is exactly how you don't want to hold yourself to this guy's standards.
You don't act like this. You don't talk like this. You don't bash former employers like this. These are like all life lessons he gave you in a 48-hour span. This was like the best TED Talk I think we could have had.
You're going to have a 30 for 30 where it's like, what if I told you the best S&D player in the world made a yikes of the week? Like, it is just, and Anuj is right. Like, it all spanned over. So really, like 3 days, but the real juicy stuff, I mean, within 24 hours, he hit every emotion on the emotion wheel. So this is what happened. For those who don't know, MuTeX is part of the Call of Duty scene. He was currently signed with Dallas Empire as a sub. He wasn't on the starting roster, but he was kind of like a sub/coach advisor for S&D, for Search and Destroy.
He's one of the best S&D players. You know, he's known to be like incredible at that game mode. So brought on as an analyst / sub on the team.
Yeah.
To help out with that area.
And that was his role on the team. So really kind of low key, not going to be in the spotlight or anything, but hey, you are on a professional roster with a very professional org behind it. Well, this started out on, I will play the first piece of audio, but in short, he said some things he probably shouldn't have said, and then he was released from the team. Now, this all spiraled, though, within 2 or 3 days where, he made the comments, which I'll play for you. He's apologized, which I'll play for you, and then he kind of doubled down on it. It's just, this is gold. It really is amazing.
Now, before we do play this, there's probably, I'm assuming this is not edited.
Oh, I did not take the time to edit this.
Yeah,
this is not a family show.
This is not a family-friendly
If you are listening with children, you definitely want to earmuffs it because I just didn't edit it. And it's, imagine a Call of Duty player that got kicked off a team for saying stuff, and there you have it. So I guess, do you want to play what he said first? Because I feel like the listeners need to know what he said so we can talk about it.
Yeah, so this is on his stream.
Yes.
He is in the middle of a scrim, and he
accidentally... Did you also hear that he accidentally streamed?
He didn't mean to. He accidentally unmuted on his stream.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Because also in the clip, and this is all I've seen was the clip, is like he says it and then immediately goes offline. So like, did he know what he said was live and then was like, oh, offline? Or is that just how the clip works? I don't know. I don't know Twitch clips enough. So
I don't know.
Ignore that then. But this is what MuTeX said to get him kicked off of Dallas Empire.
It's the round where you told me to grab.
Oh, I'll say this. He is talking to like a teammate or something about what happened during that round or whatever. So you'll quickly find out which one MuTeX is by what he says.
Grab the fucking bomb, then like fucking.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
Close the door.
I'm just gonna skip through round by round. It was first round. It was. WB side. Yep.
Where?
Bathroom. What shot? Yeah, 3 seconds later, he said, "You fucking autistic idiot."
All right, let me see it.
You autistic
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Dirty little fucking retard fuck.
Send it.
Dumb fuck said I could run away, dude.
So there you have it. Calling people autistic, calling people retarded. Not a good look. Now, I'm not here to take the high horse and say I have never called people that, especially while playing games. Like, we've all been toxic players before, especially like for us elder gamers, right? Before it was really not PC to say things like, you definitely said that. I'm not here to take that high horse. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Not going to do it. Now I'm also
okay. Now, like retard, yes. Unfortunately, I can
Oh yes. I've never.
I don't call anybody autistic. That's kind of again. I think retard is crossing the line. Obviously, that in itself. My mom's a special ed teacher. Like if she's ever heard me say it, she would beat the shit out of me, honestly.
I would say,
but I know I have said it and like caught myself before.
Prior to college, right? Because once I went to college, I studied special ed. So obviously,
no, it's not like you're using that in day-to-day language now,
right.
But yeah, for I'm assuming he's probably in his low 20s.
I think 25.
25, okay. Mid 20s.
Mid-20s.
But yeah, I mean, for him, this is obviously he's talking to a teammate. This is not how you talk to your teammates. Not how you talk to anybody. But
that's
in
how
his situation,
talks to me all the time
off stream. And so for him to throw this out there, Tim mentioned with the professional organization, this is like the one org you do not do this on.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there would be zero. It's not surprising that they acted so quickly in my mind.
Yeah.
For the way he spoke out, because there was a lot of backlash and people emailed, Hastro and the organization directly.
Well, so this happened on November 22nd.
Yeah.
By that night, MuTeX made an apology on Twitter. Like, it quickly made the rounds on Reddit and Twitter. And like I said, Twitch clips were tweeted out, everything. It was quickly sent out there. And the pressure was quickly put on Empire of like, well, there's no comments as of yet. Right? Like, nothing as of yet. We don't know what's going to happen. People were kind of on the fence saying like, what he said wasn't that bad. Now, again, who's saying that, right? It's people on Reddit or Twitter. Like, let me see your credentials on what you think is appropriate to say as a professional and what isn't. Because if you asked 16-year-old Tim what was appropriate to say and 29-year-old Tim what is appropriate, my opinions would be very different, right? So that's why I'm not going to give too much thought to those people saying what he said wasn't that bad, because obviously they just don't understand the situation, right? Now, I will give thought to the people who are like, well, this is BS if he gets kicked off the team, because if it was Clayster, if it was Crimsick or Karma or, whatever big time pro, a starting position pro player, they wouldn't get kicked off the team.
That's also true.
100%. But that's also knowing your worth, right?
Well, that's how it works in any sport, right? I mean, like the Cowboys were notorious for this back in the 90s that star players would get preferential treatment, right? And
What do you
that's
mean in
not
the
to say,
90s?
I mean, I guess all the way up until now. I mean, Quincy Carter didn't get it, I
I
guess.
mean,
Uh,
Zeke
yeah, I
got
mean, but you know what
suspended
I'm
for
saying. I mean, star
allegedly
players,
punching a girl, and Jerry Jones was like, he didn't do it. I
He didn't
didn't
do
see
it.
it.
He didn't do it. Okay, allegedly, they settled. Yeah, so
They settled.
for for him, you got to know your place, dude. Like this is a very different situation, right?
Know your
If it
worth.
was Crimson, they would still get.
Oh,
First of all, they would get beaten down publicly, right? Like the
Yeah.
backlash towards that player would be pretty rough. Now, I don't think it would be long term in the sense of fan standpoint, but could affect sponsors.
yeah, fans have a short mindset. Like
They do.
fans would forgive and forget by within 24 hours, no one would care.
But there would be some sort of suspension or fine for anybody that did it. Now, again, in his situation, you're a sub. You're more there for an analyst as even a player on this roster. Pretty easy to move on.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a pretty easy decision.
You don't have any sway in that org right now. Like, you really don't bring any fandom to it. So your one job is to not kill any of the fandom that's already there. And like,
Yeah.
Mike Ruffell, the owner of Team Empire, he makes a comment later, and I'll play it at the end of all these audio clips. I'm trying to keep this in chronological order with how this happened. So we heard his comments. We're all in agreement that we understand what he said wasn't directed as like hate speech or anything, but definitely inappropriate for someone in his situation and, with his influence and all that. So later that day, MuTeX, went on Twitter and made an apology, which I think is, gotta make sure I play the right one. This one.
What's up, Twitter?
Oh, okay. So I have this on pause. So if you want to ever stop it, we can talk about it. I forgot how ridiculous this. So this is a guy. Keep in mind what you just heard, yelling at his teammate, doing everything. And there's also other audio clips of this guy telling people like he would shoot him in the head and call him the N-word. And this guy here, to me, is the perfect model of what I think of like a, I don't want to offend anyone.
But offend him.
He's what I would assume would be the blowhard Call of Duty player.
I get what you mean. Like the stereotype.
Yes.
Right?
If I
of
had
like
to
that person.
stereotype someone who only plays Call of Duty, not just saying if you play Call of Duty, you're like this, but the person who only plays Call of Duty and like just thinks they're a god amongst men.
Yeah.
This is him, right? Like this to me is quintessential Call of Duty player.
No, it's the perfect stereotype for one.
All right, so this is his apology.
I'm pretty sure I just ruined my career because of a stupid mistake I did. I want to start off this video by saying I'm very sorry to everyone I potentially offended. I want to apologize to the org, Dallas Empire, everyone on the Empire squad for disappointing you guys. From the bottom of my heart, nothing I said was malicious. As sad as this sounds, it was a joke. A very, very bad joke. And I understand the precautions you guys might have to take.
It's not over.
I hope you can see I'm very, very sincere and I'm very sorry. And I completely understand with whatever decision you guys decide making. I'm very sorry for using those stupid fucking words.
All right. I think that's
I'm laughing because I know how this plays out.
That's right. I'm not laughing at like I'm laughing because I only know the next audio clip that I'm about to play. So there he is. Whatever you want to say, is it a BS apology? Does he sound sincere? living in the moment, I guess, maybe I believed him. I don't really remember what I thought of when I first heard this apology. I think it's funny that he said it wasn't to be malicious. It was a joke, but I could play that first audio clip again for you. It sounded pretty malicious. I don't think he was joking
definitely
around.
Attacking the dude, yeah.
Like, you said those words for a purpose. It wasn't like, got you.
Like, just kidding, guy.
Just kidding. So that was his apology, again, like at 11 o'clock at night. So then the next morning, November 23rd, around 8:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m., pretty early, especially for like a professional gamer, right? Like, this dude was just thinking about it all night, woke up at 8:30, and then he wanted to respond to the people who don't believe that his apology was sincere.
It's crazy. It's literally crazy how some of you really think I'm that bad of a person. I've been at this for 12 years. 12 years of my life down the drain. Nothing was fake about my emotions last night. Nothing is fake about my emotions right now. I potentially lost my spot on Empire. And
So I want to pause it real quick. So what he said there is very key, right? So all this was happening. It's been like a day since, his comments were streamed out originally. He just said, I've potentially lost my spot. So he hasn't officially heard, from what we know, whether or not he's been booting or whatever. Now, I'm sure he's gotten a phone call, right, from whoever with the org saying, we got to discuss
We're talking about this, yeah.
We got to figure out what we want to do here. So now this has him, nervous and everything there. So I just wanted to point that out.
I'm heartbroken because this was my plan to finally get my life together and get my family's life back on track. I don't want you to feel sorry. I get it, I fucked up. But to say I'm lying about something, about my emotions, about me not actually caring about what I did, that's just fucking wrong, dude.
First off, no one feels sorry for you. Second off, what does he mean by getting my family's life back on track?
I'm guessing he's talking financially.
Like, this opportunity was just gonna turn his entire family around.
Yeah, but I can understand that part of it, right? Like, I mean, you get signed to a pro team, you think you have an opportunity, you're on a
streamer, maybe, at the same time, income,
yeah,
and all
like,
that.
I mean, it definitely could it not, right? I'm not talking about financially, maybe through COD League, but like you said, streaming avenues, being able to.
I suppose. I just think in the moment, it was a bit, for what already seemed overly dramatic, it just made it seem even more dramatic.
Yeah, it was like the crying and all that is like this dude probably sitting up all night, I'm assuming.
And this is my thing with these crying apologies, Anuj. Like, it's possible to apologize and record something and not be crying throughout the entire way through.
It comes across more unsincere, if you ask me.
Because with all these apologies that people come out, especially like with esports, right? In this industry, we're all acting tough and I'll cap you and shoot you and whatever, right? And yet every time we screw up, our apologies are very crying heavy apologies.
Yeah.
Very cry between him, the guy from the kid from FaZe, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's possible, guys. Listen, if you gotta apologize, pull yourself together, take a moment, and then
you're recording
it.
It's not a live.
It's not live. You can record a well thought out apology. Maybe go to Empire and be like, guys, can you help me politically write an apology? Like, I need some PR person to help me out right now. Like,
yeah,
it is possible to do an apology without like bawling. Like,
It's just a bad
dog
look.
just died worthy crying throughout the apology. It seems like it seems like you're doing a bit, right?
Like I said, it comes across like less sincere.
Yeah.
When you're like all teared up the whole time and just bawling out, like get it out. Make your apology. Like state your case. Plead your case if you
Yeah.
have to. But
So I know
like,
we were talking about it in our Discord and then via our text messages and everything. At this point, what were you thinking live? Like in the moment, what were you thinking when you saw his apology?
I thought there was a chance that he would just get like suspended or like fined, from the team. I wasn't 100% sure if he get kicked because we've heard, sad as
Let's
it
be
is,
real.
we've
We've
heard
heard
a lot of
worse.
stuff like this. Yeah, but I think with him, the issue started to then come in as all of his previous comments started kind of coming to light at that point.
Yeah.
People started digging up other things that he said on stream. There was threads going about him and going on about him in the COD community. So there was like more of a case building up. Had it been like again maybe just that one incident, and it nothing else had happened around it to show that this is the type of person he usually is. I was thinking there's a chance he keeps his job and faces some sort of hard backlash for it. But as all this other stuff started coming out, like again, there were several occasions where he said the N word, hard R. It was not helping. Like I think as time went on, like it was getting more and more evident that he was probably going to be released now.
And especially because like now when we play this next audio, right? I really am kind of curious. I would love to be a fly in the room when he was talking to Hastro and the folks over at Dallas Empire to see what the way he was reacting to them, right? Because you heard his comments, and you're like, all right, he's triggered, right? He's a triggered dude in a high stress situation. You say some stupid stuff, all right. His apology, as ridiculous as it sounded, sure. Maybe he's a crier, right? Maybe he's not as hard as he tries to come off. Sure, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, audio 4, message to Empire. So here, this was an interesting thing. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, so this is actually a good point because Jarvis brought this up in chat. That Envy had to deal with this issue, fairly similar issue with XQC.
Yeah.
And they had to deal with the way he spoke on stream. They tried to get him to tame himself. So they had gone through this, and we saw XQC was a high profile player. Like XQC was a starter on that team.
And that's a good point for those guys who have said, like, well, if this was Clayster, you would never do this. Well, the same org has done that to a Clayster type of player. They gave him chances.
There were multiple chances in XQC's case, right?
Yeah.
So they did give him multiple opportunities.
But they're not,
to correct
it's not completely out of the question to where, like, hey.
But it doesn't help MuTeX's case that they gave that person multiple chances and that person kept on letting him down. Did they want to do that again for a lower profile athlete? I don't. I
doubt it. I really, really doubt it. So then this was kind of an interesting thing. So around like 4:00 on the 25th. So now keep in mind, it's been like 2 days. No one's really heard anything of what's going on. MuTeX makes a statement to Empire on his stream. Now, at this point, everyone knows he's been kicked off the team based off of his comments. The Empire don't officially tweet it out, though, until 5. Meaning, throughout those 2 days, he was having conversations with them. They called him up and said, we got to let you go. And he, then took it to his stream to talk about it before the team made an official announcement. So that kind of made it a little awkward there. But this is, I want you to remember this person here. All right.
What's up, Twitter?
Okay. Remember this person here.
I'm pretty sure I just ruined my career.
Okay. You remember him. All right. And now this is him after he's been kicked off of Empire and his message to them.
Little message to Dallas Empire. Yo, I appreciate the opportunity.
First off, right off the bat, no more crying. The
tone
tears,
changed.
The
Tone
tears
changed.
are gone.
Decision has been made, so tone has changed.
Yeah.
Opportunity. I deadass appreciate the opportunity. It sucks I couldn't have made you guys the best S&D team in the world and potentially the best team in the world because good fucking luck finding anyone better than me. Like genuinely, good fucking luck.
So I love this. So at the start, he's like, look, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Okay, that's good. You know, it's a shame I couldn't make you the best team. All right, a little arrogant, but you don't get to where he's at, not be arrogant. Okay, I like it, right? Then he just grabbed that wheel and went left with it.
0 to 100.
Like, you're never going to find anyone as valuable as me when it comes to fucking search and destroy and the passion behind Call of Duty. Good fucking luck, guys. I understand the shitty position. Realistically speaking, man, it is a big fucking L for you guys. I'm not going to lie.
He's not going to lie.
No, not at all.
It's a big L for them. It's a big L. Now that, I think, is when the public really started to turn on him.
Oh, this became a meme lord right here. Like this started going pretty viral. Like I know Toronto's Ultra Method made a pretty funny video, mocking him, which I got a good chuckle out of. And yeah, he became a meme pretty quick at that point. And this is where you knew it was just gonna spiral, right? Like
because you saw him, right? Like I said, like you can see the range of emotions this guy goes through. First he did it, and then he's, kind of toxic, whatever, in the moment. And I think that's where like some people like myself were like, oh, this is funny. Like I'm laughing at his expense because he did screw up. But forgive and forget, right? Like you said, people have said worse and they're still around.
Well, and he was then kicked off the team. So okay, he was punished for his actions, right? Like that's a pretty big consequence for what he did. So I felt like the punishment fit the crime in this case. And hey, you can move on. We can, everyone can kind of move on, hopefully, from the situation at this point. Now he's gonna go down like in lore, dude. Like he's not gonna get another opportunity after the way he's acted. Like this is kind of just the start of his tirade here.
And that's the funny thing is because he would be on another org, I think, had it not been for how he responded for being let go.
Yeah, like maybe the year would have passed and he would have got another opportunity next year. Maybe a team would have been suffering in S&D midway through the year and they bring him on to help out. Like there could have been a handful of situations where he was potentially given another chance, but that opportunity is 100% gone after the way he acted.
So he went from crying, apologizing to this is an L for you with a very confident voice. Now later that same day, this is him on stream with another friend or teammate. I'm going to call him his hype man in the background, right? Because that's, of course, the type of guy MuTeX is he just surrounds himself with people to hype him up, right? He surrounds himself with yes men. And now it's just even taken, again, just a harder turn here. Like this dude's emotions are just all over the place. Here's this, again, later in the day.
Fucking sensitive little fucks. None of you, bro.
So right off the bat, in the apology, he was like, I'm sorry for everything I said. It wasn't malicious. And now it turned into like, you're sensitive. Like, okay,
this is not who I am. Well, yeah, we
this
just
isn't who I am. This isn't me. And now it's turned into, oh, I'm the problem. It's my fault you're off the team. Oh, I didn't know it was my sensitivity.
That was my issue.
Yeah, I didn't know it was my fault on why you said those things and got kicked off. I'm sorry, MuTeX. I'm sorry. I'll let you continue your thought though.
Deadass. None of you little sensitive fucks are gonna ever tell me who the fuck I am.
Why are we yelling? Why are we yelling?
He's talking to a stream at this point, right?
I guess, yes. He's pretty much talking to his chat. Again, who I'm sure there's some trolls in there and people making fun of him, but you can hear his friend in the background like, man, haters, man. They're just haters. Like, give me a break. No one's a hater of MuTeX. Barely knew this guy existed before all this happened.
I decide who the fuck I am. Not
And
you
the people
toxic
that know
little
you, bro,
fucks.
know you're a fucking goat. Not
And the
not
people
only a
that
goat.
stick with me, the people that fucking
dead
love
ass.
me, the people that support me, regardless of the stupid shit I said, those are the people I'm a fucking support and represent. None of you fucking toxic, fake little fucks in this community, bro. Pray on my fucking downfall. I fucking dare you, bro. Waste your fucking time, bro. Waste your energy, waste your thoughts on praying on my fucking downfall.
So we're the toxic ones who are preying on his downfall. You know what? He's absolutely right. I was really this whole time thinking, man, I wish the sub player on Empire who helps him out with one game mode, I hope he really fails in life. That's all I was thinking all day. How did he know?
Like, this sounds so unstable. Like, just I can't imagine. Unfortunately, like you said, he has people. He obviously does not have the right people around him. We could start off there. You can hear the guy in the
I
background.
like to assume if any one of our group of friends were doing this, we'd be like, dude, mute your mic, walk away, come back in 10 minutes.
You would know. There'd be several ways to know. Either that, or people would just, your friends that you have, including myself, would be like, okay, I don't want to be around this shit anymore. Like you would get annoyed at that individual at some point if they didn't change in their ways, right? I wouldn't want to surround myself with somebody like that. And you hear just how how unstable he is, how coming across relatively bipolar in his statements. You kind of flipping the switch here.
It's all within like 2 days of him barely being able to get the words out while apologizing to then this.
Yeah, it's definitely odd. I mean, you don't see stuff like this.
He got so angry,
so mad,
angry at other people. Like it went from him accepting it, right? It's almost like he went through the opposite stages of grief. Like grief, it's like anger, then blaming, deflection, or whatever it is, and then acceptance. He started with acceptance and then just went to blaming and deflection. Like he went the opposite way. You're not supposed to go that way, MuTeX. Go the other way. Go the other way. I just couldn't. That's when I really just was having fun with it all, because I was like, this guy is. He is bat-esque crazy.
He deserved the yikes of the week.
Dude, he deserved a standalone yikes of the week. Uninterrupted. There's no one else trying to take this throne. Congratulations, MuTeX. You are the yikes of the week. Well deserved.
Does he continue from there, or is this where he goes to Hastro?
This is, the next audio I have here is Mike's comments on it, which I want to play because it just explains why the Empire did what they did, and I think 100% was the right decision. I think a lot of times owners don't do this. We've praised him a lot of times on the show just to being a very stand-up owner, right? Like he kind of backs up with what he says. So I wanted to play this audio here real quick, and then we can continue making fun of MuTeX.
Basically, the way we operate as an organization these days, we want to be inclusive to anybody and everyone who wants to cheer for our team and be a fan of our team. And never, never should somebody who cheers for our team feel alienated or feel depressed when they came on to watch some Call of Duty and watch our team compete. Ever. That should never happen. So, it's not, I understand Charles was talking to his friend. I understand, he didn't mean those things in the context of what those words mean. But at the end of the day, people come on to watch our team play. And again, never should they feel down and depressed because of something that our organization said.
100%, and that's exactly what we were saying at the start. Like, I understand that we've all said those words. Unfortunately, it's just where you're at now in life. You can't say them anymore.
Yeah,
because
they're in a different situation.
They have different meaning now. They have a heavier meaning than what they were when you were younger in high school playing with your friends.
But even now, like, if he was just a person that played in battlegrounds and or game battles, and that's the type of person you want to be, hey, you can be that person. You're not on a professional organization, but he also has to know where he's at today. Your words are going to have consequences, not just in terms of how we've kind of progressed in society, right?
And I don't really even think. I was gonna say, like, I don't think you and I are PC police by any means.
No, I mean, I don't think fortunately
think
for us, none of
think-
our friends talk like that, so we
Yeah.
don't have to put up with that. But
And I immediately will mute people. Like, listen, I like to talk smack and I like to be toxic, but I do it in like a normal. I try not to keep. It's not personal when I do it. It's all about your KD, right? It's all about the game. It's definitely not. I don't think it's being a PC police by saying you shouldn't call people autistic.
yeah, no.
Like, that's not being not cool. That's just, not being a dick. Pretty
Tim
much.
tells people they suck.
Right.
There's a difference.
Yeah, right. I say you
Tim's letting
suck.
you know that you're bad at the game or something. It's a
Yeah.
different type of toxic.
Yeah. I will say you suck, even though I'm like 2-20, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, just, unbelievable. Like I said, I really think his career could have continued on, but now the way he handled himself when he was yelling in that one clip was unreal. It was unstable, unsafe. Could you imagine being his teammate?
Imagine him in practice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just in practice. Like, no, you said to go left. Like, okay.
Especially if he's in a role where he's supposed to be like helping and guiding people, right? Making them
not
better.
A leader.
Doesn't seem like the type of person you want.
So MuTeX can go enjoy his, 200 viewers on Twitch now, and as he slowly disintegrates into, obscurity, then
or becomes a better person, hopefully, and learns from this and changes his ways. But
I'll let you take that high road.
Time will tell.
Go talk to someone. Go talk about it out loud with a therapist or someone. That would be my recommendation for you, MuTeX, is to go get help, because, boy,
something's a little off.
God forbid if he's ever dating someone and breaks up with him. That emotional roller coaster. I don't think he could handle it. I don't think he could handle it. Man, just funny times, man. I cannot wait for the CDL to start. Can't wait.
We're like in the preseason right now, and
we get this in 2 months away from the season starting. Just imagine when it starts. It's gonna be great.
Empire's really managed to be in the headlines, whether it's been their performance in game battles and how they've been doing in scrims.
Much like the Fuel, right?
Yeah,
like
they do a good job of like staying very relevant, and hopefully, unlike the Fuel, their performance kind of meets expectations here.
Of course, yeah, that would definitely be a nice change of pace. Speaking of a change of pace, let's switch the topic to CSGO as ECS wrapped up Season 8 in the finals. It was this weekend, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show. It was up here in Arlington at the Esports Stadium. Always a fun place to go watch an event, too. I don't know. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the games? Do you want to start with the teams? Or do you want to talk about the event first?
Let's go with the event.
All right.
About our experience.
So we got there a little bit. We were there a little bit on Saturday. Met some listeners. Nice to meet some of you, Jazzy Josh. What's up? Wasn't able to stay too long because, again, my Thanksgiving was switched to Saturday.
That was more just to get out there.
Get out there, get our feet wet, see what's going on. First off, they have a chicken sandwich there called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. A 4-pound chicken sandwich. It's $25. Smells amazing.
Looks great.
That's a lot of food, though.
It's gigantic. I mean, we thought about it too. We were like, maybe we could get it and like split it and just see if we could even do that, right? Because there's no way you could do it solo.
Because those kids next to us, there were like 4 of them eating it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think we were too confident.
It looked like the size of a pizza, did it not? Like the chicken.
Yeah.
After it was like fried, it looked like the size of a medium-sized pizza.
It was definitely beefy. It was definitely beefy. I will say this too about the crowd. I don't know what it was like on stream because I didn't, when we were there, we were obviously there. We didn't watch it on stream. Maybe this is a Dallas thing because I will say Dallas gets a lot of crap for just being a bad sports city in the sense of like fandom and everything. Anuj, I think it's getting harder and harder to defend NA fans.
I mean, yeah, this was
It
not a
was-
hype event.
I'm not gonna
you know?
lie, guys. It was kind of boring.
It was like just Counter-Strike. Like I like it when I go to some of these, like we've been to some of these ESL events in the past where there's so much going on in the lobby area with all the vendors, right? They have like maybe 10 vendors there and the one-on-one competitions that they would do out in the lobbies sometimes and the big merch section
Fanatics
that is
there
all
with
the
music
different
going
teams.
on. And
Yeah, and so you kind of have a little bit more like hustle and bustle, and that gives more energy. I feel like to the crowd. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, it kind of feels like it
it
does.
wakes
But
them up.
yeah, like everybody's like engaged in the event itself, and so this is like you really just go in and watch Counter Strike for 4, 6, 8 hours, depending on what
So-
day you were there. Like Saturday was.
I feel bad for the people who have never been to an event before and feel like they have to get there at doors open. Because
Yeah, it'd be miserable.
Here's a pro tip for anyone who's never been to especially a Counter-Strike event. When it says doors open at 10 and the first match is at like noon, really like get there at like 11:45.
Yeah, unless you're like really dying to find the best seat in the house, which
Nothing's going on. And
the
those
nice thing is
matches are
about
gonna be
esports
late.
stadium, all the seats are pretty good. At esports
Yeah.
stadium, it really doesn't matter where you sit; you're in a pretty good seat. With that being said, like it's not stadium seating venue, so it also doesn't look like it doesn't like I don't know. You don't like engulf the stage. Can't see me on stream. It'll kind of like stick in. You're not like kind of on top of the stage the way
Right.
you are at like some of the other events we've been to or any stadium that anyone's been to. So
Yeah.
again, yeah, the
It's
crowd wasn't
different.
that hype either. Like the most excitement I saw was every time a HyperX keyboard came on and they
They
showed the
did like a
commercial for
joke.
the light turning on. The crowd would go nuts as kind of a meme game they were playing. But during the event, a couple of like chants here and there would start up for a few seconds and then it would just kind of die off
Fizzle out
and stay
And
silent.
this was even while Liquid was doing well.
Yeah.
Evil Genius never got anything going, so that's difficult. There were quite a bit of Astralis fans there, though. Like, I really think during Liquid and Astralis in the finals, I would almost say that stadium was split between Astralis and Liquid fans, which doesn't help with the hype, right? Like, if only half the people are getting super excited for when Liquid does anything. But yeah, I don't know. You see these other events elsewhere, like in Europe or Australia especially, and the people are just going nuts and they're just having a party with it, round the clock. And it just seems like for here, it's like people were just waiting for it to end so they could go.
Yeah, it did feel like that a little. I mean, I get what you're saying. It wasn't a hyped crowd. Now, again, that's not for like every location because we've been to other places or other events. Like we've been to the Dallas Fuel home opener. So just to talk local, right? So to compare a Dallas crowd to a Dallas crowd, we went to the Dallas Fuel home opener, whatever what was it called?
Homestand weekend thing.
Yeah, homestand weekend that they did. That was crazy. That was one of the most insane crowds I have been around from start to finish. That crowd was yelling, screaming, very engaged with the game. Obviously, it's a different game, but it's not. We've been to Counter-Strike events where it's been just as rowdy. Again, here in Dallas ESL. But
I don't know if people were still sleepy from Thanksgiving or what, but
that could be a part of it. Also, like the event weekend is not a great weekend to do it in my mind. To like have people come out on Saturday, Sunday, like trust me, we've all been eating all weekend.
Family's been in town. You've been entertaining.
Family's in town. You're staying up late. You're kind of drained after Thursday and Friday. And then you're gonna go watch Counter-Strike for 12 hours.
Go on our Twitter and at the center ring. We tweeted out. The stadium has like this couching seating area with a screen on it outside of the main stage area. Very comfy couches. And Anuj ended up dozing off for most of the third map. So
it was very comfortable. I got to stretch my legs out. I was just watching the match, and next thing you know, Astralis is up like 11-4.
Good temperature. It was nice. No, it was a lovely setting. I wish the crowd was a little bit more awake for it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like I
including
said,
myself.
I don't think it's because Liquid was losing, because even when they went into overtime and everything, I just felt like there was a little pocket of fans that were going nuts. But
No, I agree.
you know, that didn't affect though the games, because obviously the games I felt like were really well. I mean, really throughout the weekend. When it got to the semis, you had exactly what everyone wanted. You had, top 4 teams in the world between Astralis, Liquid, EG, and Fnatic. I mean, that you can't even get that at a major. That
Yeah, you really got what you wanted there, and we won't touch on the losers too much here. Kind of like Tim and I had discussed, last week before the event, we didn't think, um, with all the stuff surrounding NIP in terms of rumors, that they would really perform well, and they really didn't. Avangard, I think, was just in a tough spot, having to compete against evil geniuses in Liquid, so they were in a position where it was just going to be a tough out for them. And then on the flip side, Astralis, we both thought would kind of walk through fairly easily. We were split. I think you had Fnatic.
Yeah, I had Fnatic winning it.
And I had MIBR going through on this group,
Now,
thinking that.
If it pleases the court, I'd like to make a statement, because I did lose money. I back up what I say. I don't just say it for show on the show here, okay? All right, I back up what I say. I put some money down on Fnatic. Didn't get it back. That's okay. It's okay. I was misinformed, though.
How were you misinformed?
Had I known that Fnatic had a $120 Hello Kitty hoodie for sale on their website, I would never have picked Fnatic to win, because no player, no org is motivated to win if you're also getting a secondary income from a $120 hoodie. They don't need prize money if people are buying that.
Is this the hoodie that just has like the little
just a little bow tie and the Fnatic logo, and all of a sudden that's $120?
Man,
we thought $90 for 100 Thieves was bad. That makes it look like a Black Friday sale. Like, that's ridiculous. So had I known Fnatic had a $120 hoodie for sale in their store, never would have picked them, because those players are not motivated. They are living the high life. If they can get away with selling things for that much, their salaries must be so cush they don't need this prize money. They aren't motivated.
But they, again, like you said, they played really well in this tournament. Obviously, they got a chance to advance through 2-1 in the knockout stage, if I'm not mistaken.
Every game in the playoffs went 2-1. Every match went to the full distance. So the playoffs, I mean, were incredibly well. Very surprised with Evil Genius, though, because I was not impressed with them in group stage. Despite them going 2-1 and making it through, they actually had a negative map differential in group stage, a -7. And it definitely looked like it. Like, they got rolled by Team Liquid, 16-4 on Inferno, 16-14 on Dust 2, which every team goes.
And that 16-4 is going to make your win round differential. It's going to, really tear that up.
But, even against NIP, right? Like you said it, NIP looked like a struggling team. And yet they were still able to take a map, on the decider match. It went to, again, a game 3. NIP took map 1, train on that. Evil Geniuses did not look sharp.
I think Train is notoriously a very strong pick for NIP, and I'll give them that. Like that, I'm assuming that was NIP's. That was NIP's pick. That's a really strong map for him. So for them to come out on top there is not so surprising. But yeah, you're right. In the other 2 maps, Nuke and Inferno, both really went down to the wire at 16-14, 16-12. So they didn't look dominant at any point during that series.
No. Astralis, though, I will say this, if we can jump back to the people who didn't make it out of groups. That first game against Sharks went into overtime. They won 19-15 on Nuke. Astralis used to look immortal on Nuke. This event, they lost on it to... Who was it? Was that yesterday or today? I'm getting these days mixed up now. I believe they lost it to EG
yesterday to
on
Evil
EG.
Genius.
So that broke their 11-game winning streak on Nuke. That almost broke earlier, though, to the Sharks, man. I know the Sharks went 0-2. I know I joke about it and say don't sleep on them. They really performed well, though, against Astralis. For a while there, Astralis could not figure them out. Astralis was so frustrated. You could tell they were BMing the Sharks when they would kill. Like, Glaive would go and shoot their dead bodies. Like, when do you see that from Astralis, right? They normally are always so calm, cool, and collected, and yet, you could see that frustration coming out. The fact that they almost lost that opening match to the Sharks. Now, the Sharks went on to lose 2-0 to MIBR, which, again, makes them look like what we thought they were. But I will give credit to an overtime loss against Astralis because they looked sharp on that. Also learned something about with the Sharks this event. The way British people say sharks drives me absolutely mad.
Are you talking about Bardoff or what?
All of them. All the British people.
any British person.
Any English person in the world. There's an R. Say the R. It's sharks. I'm sitting here watching that match and they're like, the Shocks. And I'm like, oh, Shocks is playing. When did he join them? Like, who's he playing on? And then I'm like, oh, they're saying Sharks. It was maddening. I'm not lying right now. Straight face. I thought they were saying Shocks for like a good 3 rounds, and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about.
How is he subbing in for the Sharks? What's going on?
I'm like, maybe there's a Brazilian Shocks I don't know about. I don't know. It was a beating. It was. So I'm almost glad they were 0-2, so I didn't have to hear it throughout the weekend. But
yeah, you didn't have to worry about them advancing.
Didn't have to worry about it too much. Jumping back to the semis, Team Liquid, their first round was 2-1 against Fnatic.
Again, dropped the first map there. They we've kind of seen that in a couple of these rounds now, where in the best of threes, Fnatic took that first round, and we saw Liquid come back and battle back on Inferno and Mirage, take the last 2 against them. But Fnatic, again, they looked good throughout the whole tournament. They didn't really look sloppy. Even in the Liquid series, I know Inferno was a tough map for them, but they're hanging on to that spot. They're not going to be dropping after this tournament, that's for sure. I mean, they held their own against Liquid, and again, looked good throughout the tournament.
Which brings us to the finals, which was just earlier today. We were there. Could not get any player interviews. Appreciated Astralis. Apparently, they had to make. We sat there for 4 hours, people. 4 hours. Waiting to get this post-match interview with some of the Astralis boys. Round 15, we text the media contact person saying, hey, get us Dupree. We want to talk to Dupree. They text us back, just to spoke with their manager. They got to go catch a flight right after, so they're not doing interviews. Oh, so we sat there for like 4 hours for essentially nothing. We could have sat at home watching these matches. I didn't have to go there to see it in person.
I did get a jumbo hot dog and a nap in. So it wasn't completely wasted, but yes, I would have much preferred to watch that in my pajamas at home.
Yeah, I could have ordered. I could have just made some hot dogs and slept on my couch. It was.
I could have had like about 20 hot dogs for $7.
These guys, these schedules are busy. I still say there's got to be a better way to do Counter-Strike than how we do it, because Counter-Strike scheduling is not normal people scheduling. You can't have 4+ hour matches every best of 3. Every best of 3 cannot go over 4 hours. It's just not possible.
It really it's just
for the people there on Saturday. They were there for almost 12 hours.
They just got to get stuff started on time and then be efficient, like with the time management in between, right? Like 7-minute break or something, like cut it down a little bit off of the 10-12 minutes that it is now. And then maybe after the second match, it's a little bit more of an extended break, like go back to that 12-minute time just to give a little bit more.
If it goes to the third map.
Yeah, if it goes to the third, you get an extra few minutes in between.
5 minutes. Enough time for the players to go use the restroom. People get drinks.
BO5s should be dead in my mind. Like, we should never see another BO5. It's just...
You couldn't pay me to go to a best of 5 in person.
But yeah, even like luckily for us, it's only 2 BO3s on one day, which really isn't bad. We've seen some of these where it's like 3-4 matches in a day. Tough on the fans. So
Tough, I mean,
even yesterday.
Can I give a shout out to the workers at that arena? This poor lady comes up to us in the middle of map 1, like a security person at the venue. I was like, "Hey, do you know when do they stop?" And we're like, "Oh, sweetheart, in like 5 hours."
You got a long time.
You got a
She's like, I
long.
thought the
'cause they've
game
been there
ended
since
when they
10.
got to 16 because she had been watching it, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
the whole weekend. She's like, I thought it stopped when they got to 16. We're like, oh, this is an overtime. And she's like, is it win by 2? She asked like all the questions to find out
Yeah.
how quick could she get out of this place. And it was unfortunate. She had a long ways to
Yeah, because
go.
these guys, they get there at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they're expected to sit there, and it's like, and we wonder why security at these places are always laxed, because these guys are working 12+ hour days. Of course they don't care. Anyways, that's my mini rant. So getting into the finals today, Astralis obviously won 2-1. No spoilers here. It's kind of weird because I guess props for Team Liquid for going 2-1. You won the first map, Vertigo, on overtime. I believe Device said that was kind of a joke pick anyways.
Yeah, well, so he said he was having FPS issues during that match, as the admins noted it, or I guess notated it as well. Like it was like 190 FPS he was getting. They
Gotta
felt
update
comfortable.
those NVIDIA drivers. Gotta let those shaders install. He didn't let the shaders install.
For them, they felt confident going into Vertigo. They knew it was more of a 50-50 matchup, but they felt like they could win. They said there were several rounds that they felt like they threw away. The Nitro 4K round came to mind. Device, he said again, he was a little out of it with the FPS issues. So there was a couple little factors there, but they knew it was a 50-50 map pick. And man, you know what? I want to just touch on Vertigo for a second. We're seeing it like so much, and I really do not like the map.
I
don't
turned
like
around
it.
on it. From a
It's just-
competitive from a spectator standpoint, I don't mind it. I hate playing it, but
I do hate playing it. I mean,
I feel like the reason I like it is because I feel like the fights are very decision based. And I mean that what I mean by that is it isn't just outgunning as much, it's peaking at the right time or not peaking. Like we saw Stewie, despite Liquid taking Vertigo, I really didn't think they played better than Astralis at times. Stewie, and again, this has been his thing since day one, so it's hard. You're never going to take it out of the player. But he makes so much dumb decisions when it comes to being aggressive. When he needs to peak or re-peak, it is like you want to rip out your hair because it's just like, Stu, just let them come to you. Why are you re-peaking this?
Yeah, like
or
on
why are you not
post-plant
waiting
type
for
situations, we
teammate
saw it a
to
few
re-peak
times.
with you and trade? Like, we saw that a lot of times with Stewie in this finals.
And then, at the flip side, that won them several rounds too. His
Of course, and
aggression
that's why I said
won-
you don't want to take that out of a player like Stewie because,
Yeah.
That's for every
Yeah.
dumb decision he makes doing that, he'll make 5 crazy ass 1v2 clutches, right? So
That exactly. And for you're right though, that map really felt like a 50-50 toss up. It felt like anybody's game up until the end there. Again, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I feel like you're right. Like with this map, where everybody's going to be for the most part. There are not many.
I've never seen more kills through smokes in my life.
Yeah, you really know where people are going to be positioned on the map. There's just not many different vantage points that you can kind of be hiding around. Like it's a very set strategy on that map, almost a little similar to Dust 2. Like you kind of know what people are going to do pretty early on. In the map time, they're going to try and take mid control, and they're going to work cat, do a split push or whatever, or like hit it through B, and you kind of can understand how the fights are going to take place. Same thing with Vertigo for me. We just saw it a lot in this tournament. Not the biggest fan of it. But yeah, then he went on to talk about the other 2 maps that we had. I thought both maps, Astralis looked fairly dominant. Although the score lines would kind of tell you otherwise on Nuke 16-11. I thought there was a pretty shoddy first half on the CT side for Liquid there. They gave up 7 rounds to T side on, to Astralis there, and Astralis really took it to them on the CT side like you're supposed to do. So again, a 16-11 scoreline, only that way really because they started CT and were able to build up some rounds, but they didn't look good in that game.
No, they didn't. They lost at one point. What? I don't know the round. You'd think I would start taking notes while watching these games, but why start now? We're already the #1 esports podcast. There was one point in time where it was like a 3v1 or a 4v2. The 2 Astralis players were in A site on Nuke. Liquid had like the 3. It was almost like the scene in Jurassic Park where the Raptors were circling them in the fields and they said, stay out of the tall grass, right? Astralis, all they had to do, they were in the tall grass, right? Liquid just had to pounce. They just had to take advantage of it. And for whatever reason, you had Stewie, I believe in Heaven, who peaked when it was like, bro, just wait your turn, right? Like
Twist got caught with his back turned in the middle of sight.
Yep. Like let someone go to Mini for you. Let someone get to Squeaky for you. Someone get to Shaq. Something, right? Like you have all these angles were available for them to literally go in at the same time and really make that round look ridiculously easy.
I know what round you're talking about because in that same round, the bomb was down in A.
I think it was
and they all
Nitro got like a triple kill or something to start the round.
Nitro got the double with them coming out of Squeaky or the door going down to vent. So Nitro got the double. Bomb fell in A site. Nitro got traded there. And then the bomb was down in sight and everybody left sight and they kind of scattered, pushed back, let Astralis regroup with the 2 that they had, take control of A site, and then they pushed back in individually. And that cost them that round when they were kind of making a little bit of a run there. Like you might have, you might have seen at least economy change somewhat. But, once you make mistakes like that against a team like Astralis, it's like the Patriots, dude. They let you mess up. They really don't make many errors, right? Like either they're executing, but maybe the plan doesn't work, but they really don't mess up or give rounds away. If you're going to give them some, they're going to take advantage of it. Third map, Dust 2. Again, a fairly dominant performance, by Astralis. I think Nitro really wants to forget this game. This was probably the worst game, we've seen from him.
It won't be easy. It won't be hard for him to forget it since he never really showed up. I don't think he was ever there.
Yeah, 3-20, 25 ADR. It's one of those things. If he was 3-20, but like a 55, 60 ADR.
Here's the question: If you replace Nitro in that match, could you get more than 25 average damage per round ADR?
Oh man,
could you get just for one game? It's just one game. That's all you got to do. You don't have to be a teammate. You
know what? I'm gonna say yes. That's the only reason I'm gonna say yes because I know how much better they are than me. Okay, I am not putting myself anywhere at this level, but it's Dust 2. I know the map like the back of my hand. I could probably squeeze out some random nade damage here, like a couple of nades down long. Like I'd be very effective with my utility. I think I could have got 3 kills.
Beta Leech a few times. You can get
it. I think I could have done that. Like that stat line was one of the worst stat lines he's probably ever had. So that was a tough. That was a 0.32
his
match
HLTV rating was a 32. I don't think I've ever seen that in a finals. Like sure, maybe at the starting round of a major where it's like Tyloo versus Astralis or something like that, but you're looking at Liquid versus Astralis, and someone walked away with a 3-20 KD, a 0.32 rating, 25.9 ADR. Like, bro.
Yeah. I mean, now what? So what does this leave us with? For the end of the year, we have how many big tournaments left? I think there's only 2.
So you have ESL Pro League this weekend coming up, so maybe we'll talk about that a little bit on Thursday's episode. And then you have
is Blast Pro the only other big one?
Blast Pro is the weekend after in 2 weeks. I thought CS Summit was also coming up, but maybe I'm.
It is. That's December 12th through the 15th, but that's not considered a big tournament.
No.
Yeah, so really we have 2 big tournaments left for the year. So I want to pose this question to you here. We have ESL Pro League Season 10 Finals. That's got everybody in it, right? Like all the big boys are in that tournament. And then we have Blast Pro, which also has Liquid and Astralis. So those are 2 of the 4 teams that are currently confirmed.
And the Blast Pro coming up is their global finals. This is like the $1.5 million prize pool. Like winner of Blast Pro is getting $1 million. Believe it or not.
It says prize pool 500,000 on HLTV. So
maybe I clicked the wrong one. Hold up. Location. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 2020's finals.
Oh, it's a 1.5.
Yes. 2019, you are correct. It's 500,000. Next year's is. All right.
Oh, damn. That's out in Bahrain.
You want to
That's
go?
crazy. That's actually pretty cool. So anyways, we have 2 big tournaments
Remember,
left
this was the one
for the
that
end of
was
the
like,
year.
why are they doing it there? And we said like oil money or whatever.
Give me your top 3 teams of the year right now.
I think number one's got to be Cloud9 for sure. The adversity that they fought through and to still be in a conversation, I think like Cloud9! Obviously, number one. Number
Follow-up
2
question off of that real quick then before you even answer 2 and 3. Is Cloud9 number 1 in any esport currently?
Well, let's see. They just squeaked by in the Rocket League. What do they call it? Like to stay in the league, right? G2 just beat them. So Cloud9, they did eventually win to stay in the RLCS. So no, not the number 1 there. They used to be, but dropped off.
Counter-Strike not top 25. League of Legends.
No. Mango on a diving day. I mean, he did win a tournament and stuff, but I think HBox would be the number 1 consistently in Smash. Cloud9's having a rough time, okay, man?
A little bit of a rough time.
They are having a rough go about it. Now the London Spitfire did win Overwatch League 2 seasons ago, if that still counts, but I think that's kind of not in the calendar year, so we don't look at it, right?
Yeah, and I do want to change. I want to change my question to you. Actually,
they're having a rough go.
I'm going to reword this question. I actually don't care about your top 3. Do you think Astralis, if they lose these next 2 tournaments, Pro League Season 10 Finals and the Global Finals for Blast Pro, Liquid wins them both? Okay, so that's got to be the other half of the assumption.
Right.
Who had the better overall year? Is it Astralis just because they won the majors?
And Liquid had such a dominating, first half of the year? I can't really remember when they dominated, but they had that stretch this year where they were so good. But Astralis was also just not Astralis during that stretch. So I don't know how much credit you give to them. I would have loved to have asked Dupree that exact question tonight, but alas, we couldn't. So the assumption is Astralis loses these events and Liquid wins them?
Liquid wins both of them. So that would give Liquid
I would give
a handful
Liquid
of Blast Pros.
Yeah, I would have to give Liquid the nod. If Liquid wins these and Astralis does not, I would give Liquid the nod for the better year because it means that they rebounded, right? Like, because right now, it looks like Liquid just fluked into winning the Grand Slam because Astralis was playing poorly. And now Astralis has rebounded, right? But if Liquid can prove that they can rebound and finish the year strong with these last 2 wins, I think I would give it to Liquid.
Man, this is tough.
I think I would give the year to Liquid on that sense.
Although there's 2 major wins. Man, that's tough.
Because
I would say Liquid had the better run throughout the year because they won like 5 tournaments in a row.
Yeah.
That was like really
No, like
crazy.
I said, when they were up, they were up.
Liquid won, I believe, 1 or 2 more tournaments.
And I also think like the losses, like haven't Liquid probably had more top 3 losses, top 4 losses than Astralis? Because man, when Astralis lose, like when they were losing like really low.
You'd be surprised. It's not really the case looking through their.
Am I misremembering?
You're misremembering. So when we say Astralis was bad,
Well, let's see. They got 5th and 6th at ECS Season 7 in June. They got 5th and 6th at ESL Pro League 9 Finals. 4th place at Blast Pro Miami, which I don't know how much, it's Blast Pro. 6th place. That was a qualifier. And then
3rd at Cologne, 3rd at DreamHack Masters, Malmo. But then
look at Liquid. Like, they've had just, apart from Malmo, where they went 9 and 12, 5 and 8 at the major. That's the thing, right? Majors. Liquid sucks at the majors.
That's a pretty big killer, though.
It is.
to your
It is.
resume. I think these last 2 tournaments are definitely going to help propel one of these teams forward, right? I think if they split, I give it to Astralis.
Of course.
I really do. I think like if
Liquid
if they
has to
split-
win these 2, in my eyes, to then say 2019 was your year.
And ideally, they're the team knocking out Astralis in these tournaments because now they've lost a couple again in a row to Liquid or to Astralis. Astralis has the Masters, in the bag, or the majors in the bag. So, yeah, I think if they split, it goes to Astralis. I think if Liquid wins both of them and beats Astralis in both of them, man, that's going to be interesting to see who gets the best team of the year. Like, I'd be pretty torn between the two.
If Liquid wins both and Astralis,
I think if Liquid wins both, yeah, it's not like to me a given that Liquid deserves to be team of the year. Although I think it now bolsters their resume. They're not like just 1 win ahead of Astralis, right? They're like
right,
3 or 4 wins ahead.
you have the discussion,
but
right?
none of the majors, so it makes the discussion a lot more interesting. But yeah, if Astralis wins even one of these 2, there's only a 1 or 2 differential. The wagers in my mind are weighted as 2-3 tournaments, at least in that sense. So
no, and that's I don't disagree, and I'm not talking like I would instantly make them number 1 in the world. It's just overall the year, right? We're not saying that Liquid would all of a sudden be number 1 in the world if they win these.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with like the world rankings that they do,
because I still think Astralis is the better team. It's just, can Liquid rebound in a tournament or something? And that's just kind of personal, right? Like, I think Liquid needs to prove that they can rebound. Like, let the people like us who kind of just keep saying you had a hot moment, right? A really hot moment that got you a lot of money. It looks good. You're still number, 2, 3, 4 in the world. That's not bad, but you were number 1. So let's see if they can rebound. We have yet to see that they can rebound. So against Astralis, right? I think that's what everyone really wants to see. Like, yeah, okay, you guys can beat Fnatic, you can beat, EG, you can beat some good teams.
Can you beat Astralis?
I don't think anyone cares unless it's Astralis.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone gives a damn that Liquid can beat any other team other than Astralis. That is what everyone wants to know about. So there is that. Anything else on ECS before we get on to some e-news?
No, I think that
it was a fun event. A good.
You know what? Only
matches.
thing I want to say for ECS. Okay, this year we did not get food. That was a little bit of a bummer. That's
last year was so good.
Tough when you experience great food the last
bar
year.
Was set so high.
There was nothing, not even drinks, not even like Costco 24-pack of Coke that they could have thrown in the
I don't want to act like a high maintenance member.
It could have
of
been
the
warm,
media.
They could have served it warm and made us find our own ice, and that would have been like more appreciated.
Room temperature
Yeah, I would have figured it out, And then also like this year, I felt like I was being babysitted, like I really did, and not like, I understand they got to have security, but like there's such a separation between, like, press really had no access to like anything this year. Like, little to none other than
I don't like that either. And it's not to make it seem like we deserve more. It's mainly just so we can bring it then to our listeners, right? Like,
like it's fun when we get to talk to a lot of players.
People
and
like to hear about our experiences and bring it back to them and to talk about it. And look, anytime we had to get back to the actual press room, like, which is where, like, they have a TV set up and normally some snacks, but not this time, blah, blah, blah. We had to, like, ask for an escort to go back there. And that's just really weird. You couldn't really do as much. It's just, I don't know. Last year was such they knocked it so far out of the park last year. I was really expecting it, and then it was just they went the complete opposite, right? I don't need a 4-course meal 2 times like you did last year. But I you know,
Subway sandwich, just a little 6-inch
butter
sub.
my bread a
throw it
little
in
bit.
there.
I like to be wined and dined. I like to feel a little important. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? It's just people are against me. They're rooting for my failures, Anuj. They're rooting for my failures. Just a bunch of haters, a bunch of sensitive haters.
ECS, you will never get press people like us.
I think it's an L for you. ECS. Just kidding. We'll see you. We'll see you the next time you're in Arlington. Let's be real. Let's be real. We love you. Let's get into some news, shall we? Let's see here. Lots have happened while we were out. Shazam announced his official free agency.
He's free, boys and girls. Be interesting to see where he goes. I mean, I think it'll be he's had a couple of different chances now, so you kind of don't know.
Do you remember when Shazam was just a streamer?
Like prior to Cloud9 days?
Yeah. He's just an old streamer.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wants to still play. And
I'm sure he wants to play, but it's like you said, like, how many...
It just depends at what level at this point, because I just don't see it being with one of the top tier NA teams. Like, it's just... There's not a lot of spots for what he wants to do. So maybe if he was a rifler and there'd be more opportunity, but for oppers, the top teams are pretty set there. So again, maybe a return to I don't even see Cloud9 or anything. I mean, there's really not many options. So I don't know what he's going to do next, other than if he wants to go into possibly like some tier 2 CS. There would obviously be opportunities for him there. But wish him all the best. I enjoy watching him play, and he's made definitely some pretty crazy plays. Just I don't know where there's a spot for him.
So I was actually watching Hiko's stream the other day. We remember him, right? Everyone remembers Hiko, and actually said that he's been approached by a few teams as well. So maybe kind of start up a little NA team through that way, possibly. I don't know. I kind of agree with you though. Like he kind of already been everywhere. So well, I don't know. We'll see though. I'm sure he'll land somewhere. He's fine. Right? He's not bad. Simple has been banned from Twitch again. That makes it 2 times in the last 3 months. Have you been following this drama a little bit?
Yeah, because he's done this before, and like he's saying this word in Russian, that has like a terrible connotation. Obviously, it's a anti homophobic slur that he's making
in Russia.
Yeah, in Russian, and so
that doesn't make it any better. Like I feel like people keep saying like, well, it's in Russia, it offends people. I don't.
Yeah,
think Twitch cares
Simple's
about that.
argument is that like this word is used differently over there, like the context is different, but like the meaning of the word.
So can I like as a Polish person, and I apologize to any Polish listeners if this offends you, but we use it all the time in my family. So to me, I've never known it as offensive. But Polak, we call each other Polaks all the time. But I know some Polish people get really offended by that, and some Polish people don't at all. So maybe it's the same?
Again, we know what the word means, so that's the problem, right? Like we know the meaning behind the word, so the translation, when you're in a public, this is the same thing with MuTeX, right? You got to know who you are, where you are, what you're saying, right? So even if your Russian listeners understand that has a different connotation, well, you have people watching you from all around the world. You're Simple, right? Like, right. So you don't just have Russian viewers.
So what is the word? Like he's saying it in Russia, and it's just people who know what it means is offended? Is that what it...
Yeah, they know what it means. Like people know what the word means because he's been banned for it before.
Okay.
Said the word before.
Okay, so that's different than what I was saying then. Like Polak does not mean homophobic slur in Poland. Like that's just what you call Polish people, right?
Oh no. Yeah, this it has the same slur. Over say like the word is the same over there. He's just saying that
It
they
just
say
means
it
something different
doesn't-
over there than it
doesn't
does
mean
here.
as much.
Okay.
It's not
Okay,
as
simple.
bad to say.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like making the argument like, well, I didn't say the hard R. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we kind of get it. Okay. Yeah, and I kind of agree with you, and I know his big thing was he wanted to like revoke his partnership with Twitch. And I don't really understand that argument either. And I feel like this is like a lot of people, right? Where they want to leave Twitch because they keep banning people for doing things and not banning people for others. And I agree with that. Like Twitch's banning system and how they punish you and everything honestly makes no sense. You know,
Yeah, it's a joke the way they do it.
Yeah, someone can...
He's asking for an explanation and not getting it, so he's like, revoke my Twitch status because I can't even do it. So, I mean, if he wants to go join onto another, Mixer or whatever, he'll have that opportunity.
That's great,
to.
but all these people saying make the jump to Mixer, it's not like Mixer is like some racial slur playground. Like, they're gonna get you to... It's not like Mixer is like... That's not Mixer's marketing speech. It's, yo... Be racist and homophobic here. We love it.
We welcome it.
Those days are done. It doesn't matter
stuff.
what platform you're on. So
I agree.
It's just, I don't know. Like, just stop saying it, Simple. Just stop it. In Dota, former Team Liquid announces their new org, Nigma. So that got a lot of jokes. Speaking of racial slurs.
Yep.
I honestly like it though.
It's I mean
their meaning behind it is like it's star in Arabic, which I believe the head guy is Arabic.
Oh,
so I think
cool.
like 2 or 3 of their team is Arabic, and it means star and everything. So I kind of like it. I liked it. I don't know what to tell you. My mind didn't immediately go to what everyone else's did. I could tell you. Sadakist isn't going to be casting any of their matches anytime soon. But apart from that, I like it.
Yeah, if they get second place again in the major, they will come out pretty well. I'm assuming a lot of that money will go to the owners of the org who are the players. So
that's a pretty sweet gig they got there. So good luck to them. I know they've been performing in some DreamHack qualifiers, like for Star League and stuff like that, or Dream League. So they've been performing well, picking up right where they left off. Go figure. In Call of Duty, Toronto Ultra announces their home game event area stadium thing, the Maple Leaf Gardens. This is pretty badass for those who don't know. Like, this is pretty huge in Toronto. Maple Leaf Gardens is where the former Toronto Maple Leafs played. It's been around for ages. It's like the cathedral of hockey. It's now been bought out and remodeled a few times once over, but still very cool. They still have like a hockey arena is on the 3rd level. I don't really understand how that works out, but that's kind of cool. They have
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they have like a shopping market there where in the market they still have where like the old center ice was. Like they have like a dot there, like the face-off dot.
Yeah.
So I think it's very... very cool. Like I said, I don't know why. I just have a soft spot. I guess growing up in Detroit, you have a soft spot for Canada. But it's very cool. Like I'm really looking forward to see where the Dallas Empire are doing some of their matches. Because I know like for the Fuel, they're bouncing it around the Metroplex. And I almost fear that you just have to do that, right? Like DFW is so big. But it would be cool to do it like, I don't know, maybe at the Will Rogers Center in the Stockyards of Fort Worth, and kind of pick more historical areas, like between the Maple Leaf Gardens and
the Paris
place. And
yeah, they had a badass one too.
Like I need something legit.
It'll be interesting to see where Dallas picks for sure. I really have no clue what they're gonna choose, but yeah, we've seen some pretty cool venues so far. And that's definitely one of the cooler ones. So
yeah, I'm looking. I don't know. I'm impressed with CDL so far. Not impressed with you, Activision.
Or MuTeX.
Or MuTeX or Infinity Ward, because in your game that, the Pro League is on, you still don't have anything in game telling me there's a Pro League.
You would have no clue.
No one would have any idea this thing existed if it wasn't for us. So you're welcome. No one would know this exists unless TCR was around. No one. Speaking of Modern Warfare, though, they haven't forgotten about the game because Season 1 is dropping December 3rd. This is new maps, new guns, new stuff. So
some old maps.
Like old
Shipment.
maps people like. Shipment, Crash. So that's looking good. Getting ready for the Pro League, right? Getting some familiar maps in there. Just more maps, right? We talked about it the other day when playing with listeners. Like, I find myself when we play thinking, man, we've had like 4 awful maps in a row, and then I remember, oh wait, it's because there's only like one good one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, it'll be nice to get some of the old maps in, or just new maps in. There's gonna be some new game modes
right now. It's kind of a joke to begin with. Like,
Double XP weekend treated me well, so I am excited for the
Yep.
December 1st drop.
I
I hope they come out with the battle royale soon, and then some sort of pro setup, competitive setup in the game would be nice too. But
yeah. I really
don't
think
hold-
before the season's, it's beating a dead horse at this point, but before the season starts, I really want to see. I want to play the pro ladder as I'm getting hyped watching the pro league. I don't want the pro league to get to the playoffs and then you introduce a pro ladder. Like, that's not how the hype train works. You
and again,
gotta-
they have till end of December, end of January to kind of
yeah, they still got like
get
a
that
month or
kicked in
two.
gear. So maybe they're waiting to do that at the beginning of the year and make it a big exciting thing. But if they don't, just know they'll be on Yikes of the Week.
Yep, that's for damn sure. This is also coming out December 3rd, which is also the same date as Halo Reach for the PC. You think that was planned? You think they
Seems
looked at a
like-
calendar on that one?
What unique timing! I think it's a great
What a
move. I mean,
coincidence. What is December 3rd? Is that a
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, that's a Tuesday. So excellent. That's in a couple of days. Halo on the
It is.
PC. We will play it. So if you are planning on getting it or playing it, I don't know if it's cross-platform, whatever, hit us up. I will definitely be running some customs, some old MLG Pro settings. I honestly can't wait. I don't even care if it plays like crap. I'll plug in my Xbox 360 controller into my PC. Don't care.
If I don't feel like it plays good with my mouse and keyboard, I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm not plugging in a controller. Can't do it. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll get back in, and I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to do the campaign and kind of play it in order also, because
I think
I
we'll
never got a
stream it.
chance to do that. So
We'll definitely stream, I think, some of the campaign, just Anuj and I having some fun. So if you're into that, give us a follow or keep on the Twitch or Twitter or anything like that. See when we go live. One other show announcement is, so we're toying around with this idea. We're going to do it. It's just a matter of when, and it's finding the time. But what we want to start doing is like, Mystery Theater 3000, if you know what that is, where we watch an event, we'll stream us watching it and just kind of commentating it as it's going on, and then you can watch us talk about the event. We can't stream the event, obviously, because of legal broadcasting rights, right? But we can do it. So kind of like they do with the No Major Club. This isn't like an original idea, so I'm not trying to do it. So I think we're going to call it Casting Couch. Love it. And
the TCR's casting couch.
TCR's Casting Couch. And then that way, probably in like 2 weeks, maybe for Blast Pro, we'll stream the finals live to kind of commentate and give, just joke around, have a good time. It's really
We're
just
trying to find a black couch big enough to fit in this room.
we're gonna be watching the games anyways, so it's just an easy, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Just wait for Tim and I to sit back, have a beer, and hang out. Honestly, we don't. This is all it's for. So
Yeah.
it's a win.
Just a way to hang out more. So
Yeah.
so keep an eye on that, though. We'll talk about it more as it approaches and pimp it out more on Discord and everything there. So that is for sure. Anything else, Anuj, for E-News?
Nope. I think we're good.
Excellent. What a show. Dare I say the best episode ever. As episode 195, 5 away from 200. Do we have something big planned? I don't know. That's not a joke. I don't know. We
Yeah,
should probably look into that.
We should talk about it.
We
Let's
should
talk about
probably
it.
discuss something for 200 as that's approaching here soon. But that's for later. This is now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you listen to the whole thing, if you skipped around, love you all the same. Be sure and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. If you listen on iTunes, Stitchers, anything, please leave a review, 5 stars, whatever you think we deserve. We appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, do whatever you must to make sure we live on into perpetuity. We will be back Wednesday night streaming the show live, but Thursday for all you podcast listeners as we discuss some CSGO, maybe some CDL, what's going to happen. Does MuTeX find another team? I don't know. But we'll discuss that then. That's it. For Anuj, I'm Tim. We'll see ya.